Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. This is podcast number 34. Now, I haven't podcasted for 4 months, which is insane, but I've been busy, sorry. So for those of you who are new to the podcast, this is where I'm going to talk about all my knitting, my crochet and anything yarny. If you're here for sewing related stuff or any other crafts, then you might want to tune out now. I haven't podcasted for ages because I have been busy being creative. I have actually been knitting and crocheting quite a lot over the summer months. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, then you will have seen pictures. If you follow me on Facebook, which is actually where I am most active, you will also have seen various pictures and been able to follow me along as I purchased new yarn and bought new things and got using them. But if you haven't done that, then I'm going to squeeze it all in here into a little roundup for you. So, like all podcasters do, let's start with my finished objects. And yes, I do have one for you. Sorry for those of you who get bored with socks, but I have a pair of socks. Now, these took ages and ages and ages to make because they were simply my go-to knitting when I was traveling over the summer. So these socks are a standard vanilla sock pattern. I still haven't ventured into anything patterned. I really will do at some point. But standard vanilla socks, they are a Winwick mum sock down to the toe. And for the toe, I use Mina Phillip, the knitted, Mina Phillip, the Knitting Expats rounded toe pattern. They are knitted in the beautiful, beautiful Emerald City colourway from Cast Yarns. Now, I am a big fan of Cast Yarns, not only because they create beautiful colours, but also because it is run by my very, very dear friend Saz, and I like to support her business. So it's a good job that she creates such lovely yarn, otherwise I would find it really, really hard. But these are absolutely gorgeous. They fit perfectly. I love them. I am not going to wear them. I'm going to keep them on these sock blockers because Saz is excitingly going to be exhibiting at the Nottingham Yarn Expo this year. It's her very, very, very first event, and I am going along to be her booth buddy and support her. So if you're going to Nottingham Yarn Expo, then do pop along and say hi to me and come along and stroke all of Saz's lovely yarn. So these are going to be gifted to her as a sample for her booth. So I'm going to do nothing with them other than leave them on these sock blockers for now. But come winter, they will be keeping my feet toasty warm. So that's the only FO that I have for you, but I do have a couple of works in progress. I've been really, really good over the summer and I haven't allowed myself to cast on too many things. I also have been a bit naughty because I haven't gone through my whip basket and done any of the projects that I did have as whips the last time I podcast 4 months ago. But I have 2 projects currently on the needles. The first one is a Stephen West Penguono. Now, I know it is massively yarn heavy, but seriously, this popcorn bucket from the 99p shop houses my actual whip, my actual work in progress. It's too big for its own project bag. This ginormous project bag, now this is one of my own personal designed pin badge bags. So it's a big square bag with all my pin badges on it. And it has all my yarn inside. And it is an absolute tangled mess. I don't know whether I can show you this with ease. Hang on, I'm going to pick the camera up. Look in there. That's ridiculous. So there's minis and tangled yarn. It's just horrendous. It's been a little while, I have to admit, since I've knitted on this. So this bag has got to the point where it's so tangled that before I can actually pick it up and carry on with it, I do need to go through this bag. So what I'm using to knit the Penguono is all of my really leery, bright, funky skeins. The ones that I've wandered around various yarn shows or shops and gone, oh, you're pretty. I don't know what you're gonna be, but you need to come home with me. They've sat in a bag for ages and ages and ages. I've never knitted them or crocheted them into anything, so I've decided to knit them all together to make a penguono. Now it's made, or the one that I'm making anyway, is made by holding 2 strands of fingering weight yarn together, double. So it is incredibly yarn heavy, and actually when I think about some of the money that I've spent on some of these skeins, so this one for instance, it's a bit sunny so I'm not sure if it's going to come up. How pretty is that? It's all pastel sherbety colours. I bought this in Stephen and Penelope in Amsterdam. It's Garn Studios, and I think it was about 26 euros. So when I think that I'm just chucking this into a cardigan with a load of other random yarns, it is really quite a frivolous make. But I figured it's going to be a statement piece. It's going to be something I'm going to treasure. It's something that I'm really enjoying knitting and working on, and so if it's got all my precious yarns in it, it's kind of like almost like an exhibit of everything gorgeous that I've ever owned, so I'm not feeling too guilty. So it's got a bit of Garn Studios in it. What else is in here? There's some Truly Hooked. That's lovely. It's a little scrap left over from my Elise top that I made, all sparkly and bright. There is various minis from Hand Dyed by Kate in here. All of their luminous oranges, greens, pinks. And there is this gorgeous one that I bought at Waltham Abbey this year. And that is by Unbelievable, I think. And that's, again, a sparkly fluoro. A lot of the really amazing... Woo! A lot of the really amazing colourways that I don't want to kind of break up too much, I'm holding double with just some plain. I've got some pink and some cream. Oh gosh, the sun. I've got some pink and some cream, just standard yarn really. I think that was donated to me, but it came from the works, I think. But I'm holding it double with that so that it doesn't draw away too much from the prettiness of the amazing colourways that I'm using. So let me show you the Penguono. So this is actually a really good point at the moment to show you because it's pretty much off the needles. I'm ready to make a start on the sleeves. So a lot of it's held on waste yarn, which is now caught under the wheel of my chair. Bear with. There we go. So here's the back. You can see, oh gosh, sunshine's got my little Care Bear charm on it. The right side, it's got these lovely, lovely welts, which I really enjoyed doing on either side of the back here. So you can see they're all held double, so they look kind of mottled, which is really pretty. And then I've gone on to do the side, so this is going to be the underarm section, and then it comes up, so the sleeve gets set in there. And then it comes round to the front, so you've got some shaping along the front here. It's a really, really fun knit. So that's the other side. Oh, wrong side. So you can see all bright. And then coming across with some other colours coming in here. So all I need to do now is join the sleeves, pick up for the sleeves and knit those in. Once the sleeves are knit in, then it's just all the bands. Along the bottom of the Penguono is a lovely brioche band. You can either do it brioche or you can knit it plain. I'm going to put a lifeline in. I'm going to pick up all the stitches I need to pick up. I'm going to knit a couple of rows and put a lifeline in, and then I'm going to do the brioche. So my brioche will have just a very, very, very narrow band between the bottom of my cardigan and the brioche band. I'm doing that for my own sanity more than anything. I really want to be able to do the brioche, but I do fear that I won't be able to do it. And if I muck it up and I have to pull back, I think I will cry. So I figured if I do it that way and I muck it up, I'm only pulling back to 2 rows of knitting or garter, which will just mean that I can either take a deep breath and try again, or I can just say sod it and knit the garter band. So that's my theory. We'll see what actually happens. What I love about this cardigan, and I think it's because it is Stephen West, and at the end of the day he is fabulous at producing amazing patterns, is that everything is just picked up. There's no sewing together, there's no piecing together. It's just so clever. I mean, as an example, just this section here. So this was knitted backwards and forwards like that. But then this section is knitted that way. It's just so clever. It just knits, I can't even explain it. It picks up stitches, but it knits two together and kind of twists the whole thing round so that as you're knitting it, it just becomes alive almost. It's got its own life to it. It's so clever. He's such a fantastic designer. So thank you, Stephen, for creating something that has been truly so much fun to work on. Granted, I haven't worked on this over the last month. I did this sort of in the run up to the summer holidays, and then it's been put on hold. But as soon as I finish my next project, I will be back onto this and finishing this before I allow myself to cast on anything new, with the exception maybe of one thing that I need to tell you about in a minute. Oh, who am I kidding? Anyway, Stephen West, Penguono, love it. Coming together, not far from completion. So my next whip, this was a very, very, very fast turnaround whip. I started this 3 weeks ago and I have now almost completed it. I have been working on it completely monogamously. It's living in my brand new Beautiful Things project bag. How gorgeous is this? This is upholstery fabric, and I don't know if you can see, but each of these spots is like a velour. And the background is just this kind of tweedy upholstery fabric, and it's got a brown suede bottom and a hot pink zip. And inside, how pretty! So I made this. This is one and one only. There are no others with this lining, but there are 4 more of them with bright green lining, and they are going to be coming soon to a shop update. I have had a little bit of a making session over the last few months, and I have a whole array of project bags that I will be popping up for sale shortly, so watch this space. But this is a one-off, this one. So let me just move my pattern. So this next project is the Mama Vertebrae cardigan, which is by Kelly Brooker. And the Mama Vertebrae cardigan is a top-down cardigan. It's all knitted in one piece, so again, no seaming, which makes me very, very happy. It isn't designed to come across your body, it just comes down under the arm, so it's more keeping your back warm and your arms warm. The reason I picked it is because it's a DK cardigan, which can be done in fingering weight, but the one that I chose to do is DK. I like working with DK, it's quicker, it's faster, it's much more enjoyable. And a lot of it has just garter stitch or knitting round and round and round in the sleeves. So I knew it would be a quick knit. Now the reason that I needed it to be a quick knit is because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going along to be a booth buddy for Saz at the Nottingham Yarn Expo, and I wanted to wear a garment in her lovely fabrics. So when she released her Wonderland collection recently, which is all inspired by Alice in Wonderland, I couldn't wait to get my hands on some of it. And I purchased the I'm late colourway. Where is it? Sorry, I'm late colourway, which is here. So I have one still in the skein that I haven't caked up yet. So this is inspired by the White Rabbit. Yes, the White Rabbit. I'll pop the picture up here that it was inspired by. So as you can see, this is an undyed yarn, and it has been left plain with speckles of the various different colours in the rabbit's outfit. So there's a lovely golden yellow, there's a red, there's a purple, there's a green, there's a blue, and they all come together to form this wonderful skein. It's gorgeous. When it's caked, I've only got a little bit of it left, but when it's caked up it looks like this. So you can see, it's very pretty. And the reason that I chose this particular colourway to work with was because I knew that I didn't want to be alternating skeins, because that's just a pain in the bottom. But I also knew I didn't want any horrible pooling. So I figured, and this is purely out of my head, whether it actually worked or not, I wasn't aware of, I hadn't heard it anywhere, but I figured because it's an undyed yarn predominantly with speckles, I figured that it wouldn't pull if I just knitted it straight, and I took a chance, and I'm so pleased I did because it worked. So I've completed the back and I'm halfway through one of the sleeves, or completed the body should I say, and I'm halfway through one of the sleeves. So you can see it's here. So I'm just starting to do the sleeve decreases now to bring the sleeve in. It's a raglan top. It's got simple raglan shaping, which I love. It's really effective. You can see it here, I think. There we go. You can see the raglan decreases here. The decreases or increases, whatever. You can see the raglan shaping there. And that was really good fun and really easy to do. Really enjoyed that. Okay, so there is a lot of purl rows, because we all know purl rows are slower than knit rows, or mine are anyway. So that part is all knit row, purl row, knit row, purl row. But now that I'm on the sleeves, it's just round and round and round. And I decided I was just going to do a simple garter hem, so you can see how it comes up in garter. It's really pretty. So I didn't bother. You can do rib, there's lots of different choices. You can do various different ribs, twisted ribs, moss stitch, whatever you fancy. It's open to you. But I just decided to go with garter because it was quick. That's the only reason I went with garter. But I actually think it's really nice. It gives a really nice contrast between the knitting fabric and the garter fabric. So when I do my bands around the front and around the cuffs, they will also be garter. So I'm loving how this is working up. Whoops. You can see if I hold it up for you, it's very bright sunlight in here today, so it's not the best light, but you can see there's no pooling, really. It just looks really nice and mottled, and I am super happy with this. So this will definitely be finished by the time you see me on another podcast. This will be an FO. I'm going to Yarndale. Yay! I haven't been for 2 years. I am going to Yarndale at the end of September. And although this is destined for the Nottingham Yarn Expo, I strongly think, I hope anyway, that it will be finished in time for Yarndale. So I may well be sporting this as I wander around Yarndale, which will be lovely, not only for me to have a handmade garment, but also it'll be really lovely for Saz, because I don't think anyone else has made a garment out of her yarn yet. I've been kind of watching people on Instagram that I know have purchased, and there's been lots of shawls and there's been a couple of hats and a few pairs of socks, little things where people have just bought one skein and wanted to make something. But I don't think, in fact I know, because Saz has told me, that I'm the only person that's bought a sweater quantity's weight. So this will be the very first cast yarns jumper, which I'm dead chuffed about actually, and it's really nice to be able to make it and to be one of the first to work with it. But if you are thinking of making a sweater out of Saz's yarn, I can highly recommend it. It's gorgeously soft and springy. You can see, look how lovely that is. It's got lots of lovely drape and lovely stretch. It's beautifully soft to work with, and it knits up really quickly. It doesn't split. It's really, really lovely. At the moment in her shop, she only has fingering weight yarn, but she will dye to order. So if you do want double knit, she will dye to order for you. And that's what I did with this. She She dyed me 4 skeins to order because I specifically wanted double knit. So I shall pop the link to Cast down in the bottom. And I'm not going to say I'm not affiliated to Cast Yarns, because I am, but she gives me no money, she gives me no sponsorship, no nothing, but I'm sharing out of genuine love for the product, but also the fact that Saz is a very good friend and she deserves all the praise that she can get, because you will need to go and buy her yarn because it's lovely. Do it now. Right, so that's that. What else do I have for you today? That's all my whips actually, but I do have some acquisitions that I want to show you. So last week I went on a little day out with the lovely Elspeth. We went up to visit my good friend Sam at Sconch. She owns a yarn shop in Braintree here in Essex called Sconch. It is gorgeous. It is a lovely, lovely shop. And while she does have a small amount of hand-dyed yarns, All of her yarns are predominantly high street acrylics. And as you know, I am a big fan of acrylics. Whilst I love buying hand-dyed yarns and supporting indie dyers, I can't always justify the cost. I mean, that cardigan as an example, it's going to cost me in excess of £60, which is an awful lot of money for a cardigan. I thoroughly enjoyed making it. I'm going to treasure it forever, and so it's fantastic. But I can't make things like that all the time. I have to use some acrylic sometime to be able to afford to continue knitting the things I want to knit. So I purchased some acrylic yarn from Sam's shop, and a bit of a naughty splurge, so let me show you. So you will, funnily enough, have seen this yarn before because I purchased it from Sam's shop before. It's Adrafil Zebrino, but this time I have got one of each of the colourways. Now I believe this is an Aran weight. Let me just check. Yes, worsted weight, Aran weight. It's incredibly soft and fluffy, and it has a really nice halo. It's all grey and then interspersed with other colours. So this one's dark blues and turquoises. This one's pinks and burgundies. This one is purples and turquoise blues. And then there's oranges and purples and yellows. Lots of different variations. Now, the reason that I purchased this is because it actually forms part of a kit. Now, I will show you a picture up here. This is a picture that I took on the floor of Sconch when I was there. I laid out the shawl that she had in the shop, and I popped the balls of yarn on to show you where the various colours merge into each other. The reason that I bought it was because it is just so super snuggly. It's a very simple triangular shawl, but I took it off the mannequin. Should have got some video of it, and I didn't, but I took it off the mannequin, popped it around my shoulders, and I was like, oh, that's so snug. This is just the sort of thing that I want to keep on the back of my chair at work when the heating's gone off, but I'm not quite ready to go home yet because my heating's controlled by my landlord. So about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it tends to go off, and we slowly get colder and colder and colder and colder until it gets towards 5 o'clock, and then we go home. So in that time of day when it gets that little bit chillier and I'm at my desk, then I can just reach behind me, chuck it over my shoulders, and it's really super snug and cozy and warm. A bit like popping a blanket over me, really. So it's a very simple pattern. If you buy one of each of the colourways, then Sam will give you the pattern for free. And so therefore I'm not going to share the pattern details with you because I think that would be a little bit cheeky of me because it's something that they do at the shop. But let's just say it's a super simple pattern. It consists of 11 rows, I think, or maybe not even that, maybe 6 rows. And then once you've done your setup rows, then it's a repeat of one single row the whole way throughout. But as you can see from the picture, I'll pop it up here again, it's got a border along the 2 diagonal edges with lovely little eyelets. Obviously they're formed by yarn overs, but a lovely little eyelet that runs down it so it looks like it's got a nice border. It's a super simple pattern, and when I've finished it I shall show it to you. In the meantime, again, I will pop a link for Sconch down in the comments below, and I'm sure if you sent her a little email and said, Sam, I'd really like one of these kits that you're selling that Claire bought, then she'll be able to sort you out. I can't remember how much it was exactly. I think it was about £3.99 a ball, and there's 8 different colourways, so you can do the math. But basically you use the whole lot up, so there's no waste. Now the other thing that I bought when I was there, some would say it was a splurge. It wasn't a splurge because it didn't cost very much. It was a splurge because it's something that actually I probably may never get round to doing. If I'm honest. And I bought myself Sophie's stool. Now I don't know if you've seen this before, but let me show you. Oh, it's in the box. I haven't unpacked it yet. This is Sophie's stool kit. So it's by the same people that did the Sophie's Universe blanket. It's a sheep-use kit. And you make this beautiful stool here, so you can see it's like a lovely mandala design, and then it's even got, what I love most is there's little feet covers for the bottom with little buttons on. Now I saw saw this in the flesh in the shop. It was really pretty. It's just what I need for my bedroom. At the moment I'm sitting on a little IKEA step ladder to put my makeup on, so I could really do with this in my bedroom. And I thought to myself, that's an amazing price. It had a big sticker on it of £31.50, and I was like, that's a great price for a kit. So obviously you're going to get your yarn and the pattern. Oh no, wait a minute, the stool's included. £31.50 and the stool is included. The stool itself is gorgeous, even without the crochet. I couldn't believe the price of it. I really couldn't, and so there was absolutely no way that this wasn't going to come home with me. So Elspeth bought one of these as well, so we'll see who gets it finished first. I suspect it will take me forever. I suspect, like the knitted dinosaur kit that my mum bought me for Christmas that's still sitting behind the sofa 6 months, no, 10 months later, it will get started one day. But for £31.50 I could not buy this. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. I treated myself to one other little thing in Sconch as well, and it's super. Let me show you. I bought this. There we go. Looks like a pen, but when you remove the lid, it's a blade. It's a very sharp blade. You could do someone some damage with that. And it's got this little clasp here that when you push it down or up, down, up, there we go. When you push it up, our snips spring open. So these are super, super sharp. As I say, they would do someone some damage. They have a really good snip. Oh, there you go, the sun's gone in now. They have a really good snip, which is great, and then you just lock them back down again with the same lever and pop the little cap on. But it's just like a pen, so it will fit in my pencil case that I keep all my crochet hooks into. It's absolutely fantastic, so I love that. I think it was about £3.99. So I will pop the link to those down below as well. I can't remember the make, I've thrown the packet away, but I'll find it online and stick it down there for you. So 2 more things that I've purchased just to keep you abreast of what I may or may not be up to over the next few months. Firstly, when I ordered my lovely I'm late colourway from Saz, I did also purchase something from her shop update, so her first shop update. This is a sock weight yarn. I suspect it will become a sock head hat or something along those lines. I really don't know. It's going into the stash for now. I have no plans for it. Again, I wanted it because I loved it, loved the colourway, wanted to support Saz. It's from the Wonderland collection, and this one is called We're All Mad Here, and I'm pretty sure you can guess who this one is inspired by, but just in case, here he is. So again, there's plenty of this still available in her shop, and if you want it in DK, she will dye it for you. Just drop her a message. Now the last one was not a splurge at all, but I couldn't resist it. Poundland in the UK, those of you who know Poundland will know that they sell a small range of double knit knitting yarn. It is always 3 for 2. So when you buy 2 balls for £2, you will get 3 balls. And it's always been plain colours up until now. When I went in the other day, I discovered this. So, super pretty. All these gorgeous pastely sherbety colours. It's a really, like a double twist almost. So it almost looks a bit like hand spun. Again, it's really soft and really squidgy. So I bought 12 balls of this. These are 50-gram balls, all of the same dye lot. And I think I'm going to make a children's version of the Mama Vertebrae. There is a child's version for Little Miss Mac. And if I do manage to get a cardigan out of all of this, it will have cost me the grand total of £8. So there you go. Poundland yarn. They have 2 different colourways of this. There's a more autumnal colourway, and I also noticed they had some other yarn that had the feeling of a really woolly sock yarn. I wouldn't want to wear it personally, so I didn't buy it. It was really pretty and a super high twist. really bright kind of purples and vibrant oranges, and it was lovely. But as I say, it was really scratchy, so I don't know what you would necessarily knit with it. But they did have quite a few bits and pieces, so well worth a little trip to your nearest Poundland. I have noticed this creeping up on Instagram an awful lot recently as well, so I don't think I was alone in discovering it. So how much longer it will be around for, I don't know. So that is all for me for now. I'm not going to pop a chatter onto the end of this because I'm going to put a separate update up on my YouTube channel just about life in general, what I've been sewing, what I've been making, what I've been doing that's kept me away from YouTube for so long, and that will be up separately, so by all means go and check it out. But if you do want to catch up with me at any of the yarn shows, I will be at Yarndale on the Sunday. I'm just going for the one day. We will be there from 10 o'clock and we will stay right through till the end, so do look out for me. Feel free to come up and say hello. I would love to get to know you a little bit better. And again, I will also be at the Nottingham Yarn Expo. The marketplace is only on one day this year, on the Sunday, so I will be there on the Sunday. If you're a stall holder, then I suspect I will be there on the Saturday as well, helping Saz set up. And you might be able to catch me. It'd be nice to catch up and say hello, maybe have a cuppa before the craziness on Sunday. So I will be at both of those yarn festivals, I guarantee it. I know I said I was going to Fibre East. I didn't go, it was too busy. I'm not going to Yarnporium, but I will be at Yarndale and I will be at the Nottingham Yarn Expo. My hotel accommodation, my train tickets and my entrance tickets are all purchased, so they are going to be happening. The other place to catch up with me, as I say, I am on Instagram. I don't use it as much though as I do Facebook. Facebook, I have a public profile, so you can be friends with me, and it's the real me. It's not a fake me, it's not a business me, it is me. Find me, I have big hair and big sunglasses. I would love to be friends with you and get to know you a little bit more. I share my day-to-day creative life in the studio in general, and you know, being mum and just being me. Then I have a free Facebook group, and that is across all crafts. So sewing, dressmaking, knitting, crochet, paper crafts, anything crafty. It's a lovely community. We have in excess of 600 members. And it's growing every day. It's a really, really nice place to hang out, chat, get to know other crafty people. And as I say, it is a completely free group, so I will link it down below. If you do want to join though, please, 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 please answer the joining questions. Otherwise, I simply won't add you. I add people to the group on a weekly basis. The reason that I ask for those questions to be answered is because I want to make sure that I'm giving you what you want in that free group. There's no point being a member of a group just to sit and lurk. I want to interact with you, I want to engage with you, and I want to make sure that I'm creating content that you want to see. So if you answer those questions for me, it helps me know what to put into that group going forward and make it an exciting and interesting place for you to be. So I will love you and leave you, and hopefully it won't be too long before I come back to you with an update. Those 2 jumpers are not far from being finished, but I won't podcast until they are. So I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.